Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dirty Talks podcast presented by Whoop. My name is Maghalie, and on this podcast, Lucinda and I take you into the wonderful world of cyclocross. We'll dive into our own race experiences, chat with the biggest names in cross, and we'll give you a peek inside the world of professional cyclocross racers. Basically, we're here to celebrate the sport that we love the most with you all. And maybe we'll even reveal a few dirty little secrets about what really happens out there on the field. Before we start the show, we're going to ask you to please subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen. It really makes a difference for us. So thank you for listening, and welcome to the show.
This week, we're still on the beautiful island of Sardinia. But instead of basking the post-race glory, we're wandering around like lost souls. The World Cup in Cabras was cancelled due to the high winds. What's normally a paradise turned into a stormy mess. And we are the unlucky ones who came here chasing points that didn't exist. But no time to dwell on the wind-blown past. We are looking ahead to Namur, the iconic cross where the real stars come out to play. Think steep climbs, tough descents, and of course the showdown featuring top riders like Buck Petersen. It's time to leave the vacation vibes behind and head back to Belgium, the true heartland of cyclocross. So grab your favorite recovery drink, settle in and join us as we talk about this stormy week and the epic battles to come.
Let's get dirty with Lucinda, Brand.
Today, we are thrilled to welcome a true legend of cycling to the podcast, and a good friend of mine. Hailing all the way from Italy, Eva Lechner is a multi-disciplined powerhouse with an impressive career spanning on the road, on mountain bike, and in cyclocross. With countless national championships, World Cup podiums, and a reputation for grit and determination, Eva has been inspiring fans and fellow riders around the globe for years. So let's dive into her journey and hear what drives this incredible athlete. Welcome to the show, Eva. I'm so happy you're here.
Hi, everybody. Here is Eva. Thank you, Maghalie and Lucinda, for inviting me to today's podcast. I'm really excited, and yes, I'm looking forward to have a nice talk together.
Yeah, I'm excited you're here because we saw each other a little bit in Cabras, and yeah, it had been a long time. And for people who don't know, we have been teammates on the Cliff Pro team a few years ago, and that's where our friendship started. So I'm always happy to see you at the event. You're always smiling, always fun to be around. So we didn't have as much time to catch up as we thought because, as Lucinda explained, the World Cup got canceled and everyone's plan kind of failed through. And, we don't want to talk too much about that canceled World Cup. I think it's been covered in many newspapers. But Eva, we're kind of curious, like, for you, it must have meant something different than for us. Like, what did this World Cup mean for you? I think it was your first international race of the year in cyclocross. You've raced a lot on the Italian circuit, but this was your first World Cup of the season, if I'm correct. Like, what did this World Cup mean to you, and how did it feel to see it be canceled?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, it was my first World Cup for this season. It would have been the first World Cup for this season. But for me, it was really special because it's also my last ever cyclocross season I'm doing because I will be retiring in January, end of January, and so it would have been the last World Cup in Italy, so which is my home country. So that would have been really special to race in Italy in front of the home of the home people, and unfortunately the race got cancelled. So yeah, it was like yeah, it was a disappointment, but I mean, unfortunately it happened. We couldn't influence on the weather, and but on the other side, I'm also really sorry for the organizers. They put all the effort in the race and preparing everything, and yeah, I mean, yeah, like everybody said, it was a big shame, but unfortunately it happened, and we have to go forward. And it's not my last World Cup, so I still can do some World Cup races in Belgium and Holland.
That's good. But did it, like,
You announced that you're going to retire, so that also meant probably it would have been your last Italian race, like, or at least on international level. So made that it even like even more like hard feeling, like that you didn't got the chance to do it.
Um, yes, it was kind of a hard feeling. Of course, it's not that I did never a World Cup race in Italy, so I had the chance to do it. But yeah, it would have been really special for me to race on home soil. Our last ever World Cup in Italy. But yeah, like I said, it's it was a shame, but I couldn't change it, so I have to go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you said there's more World Cups on your calendar. So what is like I mean there's a lot to unpack here because we want to talk about like your great career that you had, where it started, but now like you just announced I we knew it. I think you had announced it publicly before, but you announced that in January will be the end of your career. And so what are you looking like what is next for you up to that point? Like what are the other World Cups you're going to do? What does your calendar look like until January when you will retire?
Yeah, first of all, this weekend I will be in Namur, which is my
Ooh.
absolutely favorite course I ever did. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And after that, I will go back to, I mean, we'll go back home and we will head back to Belgium for, and first to Hulst, to Holland. And then we do the Zonovan World Cup, and we will stay also for the 23 in Belgium to do more. Um, After that, I will head back home to have Christmas with my family. And the races before the end of the year, I will do some smaller races in Italy, and then nationals. And yeah, after nationals, we are planning to come back for the double World Cup in Maasmechelen and Hogerheide.
Okay.
And yeah,
Yeah, before
also
the
Hogerheide is really special for me because I won my first World Cup in cyclocross over there, and I got second at World Championships in 2014. So it's also a special race, and yeah.
you
And
have to
after
come
that,
back.
I have to come back. Yeah, and yeah, like you said, World Championships. That it doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't depend on me, but we will see.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you still have a full season ahead then. It's you're going full on for the last one.
Yes, yes, exactly. And I'm really
Cool.
enjoying it this season. So that's something really nice.
Why do you think you enjoy it more this like are you enjoying it more or like is it why do you say you're enjoying it this season? Is there something that's different or do you feel like since it's the last one you kind of appreciate every little thing a little bit more or what why is it so fun?
I think it's all together a little bit. Like you said, yeah, it's everything the last one, so I'm enjoying it also for that, for sure. And the second thing is that I already managed to win that what I wanted to win, and I don't have to prove anything anymore. So doesn't matter what's coming. I'm just enjoying it and can enjoy the people um, and we have a really nice um, how do you say klima in the team.
Mhm.
Like we have
Yeah.
yeah
Atmosphere.
atmosphere, really nice atmosphere in the team, and we have a lot of fun, and so it doesn't it makes it even more excited, and um, yeah, so that's for sure some important things to enjoy it.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean I think it would be interesting to talk about just the fact that yeah, that you're retiring and I'm curious like how did you yeah, can you share a little bit about what made you feel ready to make this decision? How did you know that you're like, okay, actually, I'm ready to move on, and I'm ready to yeah to move on to something else? Like, what was your thought process, and are you comfortable sharing a little bit with us? Like, what made you decide that this would be your last season?
I think it was kind of a process. I already, of course, felt a little bit that wasn't so easy anymore the last years. But like I was always kind of as I was doing Olympic discipline, I was kind of always looking on 4 year steps. And yeah, we had the Olympics this summer. I mean, that was not for me anymore, but I always said I wanted to race like till 2024, doing then after that my last cyclocross season. So I had always a little bit that in my mind, but I just really felt it the last years. Um, that's the right moment, and for the moment, I'm also already ready, also in my head, to step back and to do something different. Um, because yeah, of course, you feel it after 24 years. You feel it that you're getting tired. It's not. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm missing more motivation, even more like in the past, and yeah, it's not.
So you said like
Yeah.
you felt it's getting harder. So is then the thing getting harder after 24 years, which is a very long career? Is it then to pick up that motivation that's harder, or is it also to it when I mean I also feel a little bit like it's really hard to get keep your level as long as possible on that height. Like when you go to the 30s, you know, like I'm getting in my strongest years, but then like you want to keep it as long as possible. Is that what makes it harder? Well, the young people are growing and growing, and they have more possibilities to build on the career than you had when you started, probably, because I mean everything became way more professional as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's also that makes it harder. What what I saw, what I saw also, it's just when I did that for 24 years, I was also missing a lot of stuff in my life. So also family parts, and that's something what I came on a point where really don't want to miss it anymore. Like I got three nephews, and at least a little bit missed my first nephew's time at the beginning, and we have now the other two boys. They are 2 years old, and I really want to enjoy them more. And I just have want to have more family time, going on holidays, um, not to think about I would have I need to train or anything. Just having a life also beside the cycle. So
Not the
that's
stress
more.
voice behind
Yeah,
in the back of your head that tells you, but
yeah,
keep focus, but you have to perform
yeah.
again.
Exactly. For example, I'm really looking forward, like in February, I want to go on the skis again, where I didn't go for many years because I always was scared to injure myself, and yeah, to do stuff that maybe during my career I was stepping back just to perform better, and that's for sure something, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. It will be well-deserved vacation for sure. I mean, 24 years is
Definitely.
it's incredible. And yeah, there's another thing that you said too that I found interesting is like, yeah, I mean, I did what I wanted to do and now I feel comfortable with that, and I feel like that's like feeling at peace with what you did is like probably the biggest gift, you know? Like it must feel it's nice to have that feeling and kind of be able to finish on your own term, it looks like, which, you know, congrats for that because it's not always easy, and it looks like I don't know, it's pretty impressive, and I'm happy for you that you get to do that. So that's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, that was also a process. It was not always like this because I had some years ago. I had the feeling because the thing what I was missing was a single world title. The only title I never got to won. I mean, I was 3 times with the team relay world champion, and the other thing was an Olympic medal. So I was kind of not re yeah running behind that after the years, and especially after the last Olympics where I had that again a disappointment. For me, it was really disappointing in that moment. But the last years, I just realized and was looking back what I really achieved, and I can totally be happy about it. I mean, even if I didn't get an Olympic medal, but I was participating in 4 Olympic Games, and some other people would be really happy to have achieved that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
So yeah.
incredible. And actually, like, that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you is like 24 years, like you did that. There's like all your like performance achievement that you did, like you said, like 4 Olympics, you won national titles in all of the disciplines. You were on podium at world like one World Cup podium at World Champs, like all of these things. But like really there's also like all the journey, all the stuff that you did through the 24 years, like the people that you met, the team that you rode for, the travels that you did, like the times that you picked yourself up and you had to go over an obstacle and kind of learn about yourself. And I mean all of that, which is not always seen, but like you've lived it. And I'm just curious, like, have you had time to think about a little bit like what stands out, like if you think about your career, what stands out to you right now, and what are you like the most proud of, or I don't know, like yeah, what stands out to you when you look back to those 24 years, like what do you think you'll remember most?
Um, I think beside the races and maybe the the good races with the feeling afterwards, I think the good the nice things were also the good time we had in different teams with the teammates and the fun we have together. That's something that yeah, I will always look back on it. And I met so many amazing people, and that was just yeah, it gave me so much. So it was kind of second family, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that for sure is staying for every time. I mean, for forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting because like we do this quest, like we're chasing something that is like very personal, and like we're all in our own personal
Yeah,
quest to like be the best that we can in like this little sport that we love, but like and like focus on every single race and all of that. And so it's very individual pursuit, but at the same time like the people that you share it with is sometimes what makes it so special. um and so it's interesting, like, and it's fun, like even you were saying that and I'm like, oh, I have so many memories with Eva, that I'll probably remember my whole life. And so it's
yeah,
kind
that's
of cool
kind
to
of.
look back
I
at
was
that, right?
yeah, yeah. I'm looking back also to our years in the cliff. It was just amazing years and time we had together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
So do
something I
you
say.
did you Eva, did you actually always combine the mountain bike with cyclocross, or was it mountain bike that really you started with and then later went into cyclocross, or how did that go?
Um, actually, I started first with mountain bike, and that was in 2001. And the first, I mean, yeah, let's see, the first real cyclocross race I did in 2009, and that's also a fun story because then our national coach, he's from Rome, and my army station is also in Rome, and one day I was just there, and we went in a park, and he learned me all the technique and everything about cyclocross. And one day he brought me to the beach, and he was making me going forward and back on the beach on the sand, and I didn't understand what are we doing here on the sand. And after that he said, I'm gonna bring you to Belgium. We're gonna race a World Cup race, and and he brought me to Coxside. So that was my first proper race.
China. So it's also a really difficult one.
Yeah, I know that was difficult. So everybody's just saying, yeah, when you because he was thinking if she likes Coxside, then she likes cyclocross.
Oh my god, yes. And did you like it
That
though?
means you,
Or
you
Yeah,
kept riding.
yeah. I was even doing. I started in the last row. All the Italian girls, they were like, kind of, what is she doing here? We were just talking last weekend about it because my team, the team manager, she was then in the national team too, and there was just everybody was just jealous. I was there with no race, and yeah. Then I started in the last row, and I finished 16, first Italian girl, and. So yeah,
pretty good.
then they
Talent was
yeah. So
there.
after that, so after that they didn't say anything anymore.
And then like so Yeah, you combined it for a long time actually then. How
Yeah.
did you manage that? Because I mean, I have the experience with combining it with road cycling, but it's, I think, a real different way of combining two disciplines than when you combine it with mountain bike. Can you tell a bit more about that?
Yeah, actually, the first years I did it, I didn't do the whole cyclocross season. Normally, I started like around in the beginning, mid of December. So I did all the races, the work mostly only World Cup races and some smaller races in Italy till the World Championships. And uh, I think in 2009, so it was 2019, yeah, the season. So then I had the chance to be in a Belgium team, and then I did 3 years in Belgium teams where I did the whole season, also the whole Belgium season, and that was really tough for me. I mean, as a foreign rider, I was always going forward and back most of the time, and um, that was really hard to combine, but it was possible. I mean, I did some more shorter breaks and to recover, and yeah, it was somehow to possible to do. For sure, it's something not easy, like because all the other girls they are doing only mountain bike, or also the road riders maybe they do other stuff in the winter, and we are always racing. But yeah, I just love both disciplines, and I wanted to do both of them, and um, so as long as I liked it, I just did it because it's just yeah,
So, and what
it's
did you
fun.
like the most about cyclocross? What kept you in there? Like you say, like it was a really hard combination, but so you liked definitely something that was special in mountain bike, but also something that was special for cyclocross.
Um, I I mean, I got really often the question, what do you like more, mountain bike or cyclocross? And I never really knew the answer. But now I was just thinking, yeah, I mean, I like if you look the racing part, I really love cyclocross because it's just short, full gas, and when it's getting technical, the combination about stepping down off the bike and then in difficult conditions, riding on difficult conditions like muddy conditions, the technique is coming out. So I think I'm also a rider that is more, uh, how do you say, uh, yeah, I'm better on cyclocross races than mountain bike races. And on mountain bike, I just love more the mountain bike as itself. I mean, you can have so much fun on the mountain bike, even in your free time, and
That's true.
doing really nice
Yeah.
things. So I would say the racing part, I like more cyclocross, and the mountain bike, I just like the bike herself, and yeah, having fun
Yeah.
on the track.
I always I think the same thing. Like I love the cyclocross riding, the cyclocross racing. That's for
Yeah,
me my
yeah,
like the thing I like the most. But
Mhm.
like let's say I go on a like riding vacation is like mountain bike is
yeah,
like so
yeah,
fun. Just like
yeah, yeah. But
riding the mountain bike is probably the
Mostly
most
down
fun for
then,
me.
or not? Just going
Also
down.
up, just like
also
the things
up,
that you
yeah,
see, because you're like in the mountains, you know, and it's like
Mhm.
yeah.
it's engaging in all ways. Like you can't really think about something else because you know,
No,
you
no.
have to be focused, and then you see the views, and then you get like a little adrenaline rush.
It's my
It's like a
problem. I
game.
cannot look to the views, then I crash.
Yeah, that's for me the most
Yeah,
fun. But uh,
yeah. I see
yeah,
the same,
okay.
yeah.
So a serious question. Maybe not that serious, but a little bit serious. What are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned from your whole time through cycling? You know, um, is
Oh.
there like a lesson that you learned that you feel, you know, maybe something you learned in cycling, but that you feel will help you even as you move into something else in your life?
Um, I don't know if it changed something for the future, but as a racer, I got on some point where I I just didn't have that. I almost hated the bike. So it was only work for me, and I didn't enjoy the riding my bike anymore. And so I had to try. I mean, so I had to kind of find back the joy that I have for that sport. And so I was missing kind of that. And that's something what I really realized that I mean I'm privileged to do that sport, and I love to ride my bike. I'm loving riding and cycling, and to never forget to really enjoy that what you do generally.
Hmm.
So that's I think something you need to feel. It doesn't that it doesn't come to just a routine or a work. I mean, you have to enjoy the thing that you do.
Yeah.
If not, it's just yeah, it's difficult to go on if you don't have the joy for it, or if it doesn't give you everything.
Yeah, that's true. And I do think it will probably follow for everything in your life because, like, taking a time to appreciate
Yeah,
what's around us or, like, sometimes it's easy to just, like, put our head down and just, like, boom, 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 like, keep going and forget to
yeah,
appreciate.
exactly.
But actually, like,
Yeah,
it is really fun. And no matter what it is that we choose to do, there is a reason why we do it. So you're right. Like,
sure.
finding the joy is super important.
Yeah, that's also something I always say to younger athletes when they ask me what would you suggest for the sport. Just never
Yeah.
forget the joy, because I
Yeah.
see many
Yes.
parents, they're just pushing the whole time, and yeah, then they are losing the joy, I think.
It sounds like a too easy suggestion, but when
Yeah,
to really
I know.
follow it, it's actually not so easy.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you talked about the younger racers, and actually, like, that's one thing that I wanted to ask a little bit about.
We
Like,
had
we
we had a big talent in the show before.
exactly, yeah, Sarah
Oh yeah.
Casasola was there, and then, like, just like 2 years ago, I think Silvia Persico was on the podium at World Champs, and it looks like the women Italian riders, like, it's in a good, like, the sport is in a good place right now. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, did you know these riders when they were younger, and, like, how do you feel about seeing them, like, kind of taking the
And
reins
are
now,
there coming more? Because we also need to
Yeah.
know that, of
Yeah,
course.
because I mean, actually, I know that you worked for the UCI cyclocross camp too. So, like, you're very involved with the young riders. Yeah, what do you think about all that? Like, the state of the sport in Italy for women, like, it looks like it's pretty good. And yeah, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, also I'm really excited to see national champion jersey in front in the TV again. So I'm
Hmm.
really happy about Sarah's performance, and really, really nice to see. Also with Sylvia before, and yeah, I mean maybe she's coming back to do some races at the moment. She's really um, busy, but yeah, I knew Sarah already when she was younger. I just remember when we were at World Championships in was it Dübendorf in Switzerland? Yes, she was under
Hmm.
23, and she was super nervous the evening before, and yeah, she was kind of yeah, I was kind of to speaking to her, and sometimes she had some struggle then back then to fall asleep because she was nervous about the race, and yeah, I just remembered that, and yeah, and it's really impressive how she was growing the last years, and yeah, I'm really happy to see that. And yeah, they are coming up some younger races. I'm really looking forward to see how they grow. I mean, there are some races really young now. You have to see how they grow, but I really hope that some young Italian riders uh, are coming up. And yeah, when I was at the UCI, there were um, I don't know how many nations there were, but there are a lot of different nations, and it was really nice to see how much fun the the kids. They had
Yeah.
riding the cyclocross. Like the first days, we had really bad conditions. It was raining the whole day, but they had so much fun in the mud, and that's something so nice to see. And you came then at the end to the camp, and they didn't want to go home anymore because they had just so much fun during the whole week, and that's so
Well,
nice to
isn't
see.
it the best as a child? You always want to
Yeah,
get dirty, and then actually you
yeah,
find a sport where where you must get dirty.
Yes.
yes, exactly. So that's nice being in cyclocross, even if it's cold sometimes when you do just this high intensity activity, you get warm and you have fun in the mud.
Yeah.
Is it something that
Yeah.
you would like to keep doing, like training young kids and um, yeah, helping them into like how to handle some university and stuff like that, preparing a race and
Yeah, that's something I would love to do. I don't know exactly now how, but that's something what I really love to do, working with the athletes and helping them to grow, giving some nice advice, and because it just gives me it gives myself also like joy to see when I can help somebody and
Yeah.
to see them if they can perform better. So I hope I gonna find my right place to help also young riders to grow. And for example, I was also it's the third year I was at the UCI camp, and last year even the girls they even started to cry when we left each other. So they were so they were so happy about it. And yeah, I even got a really nice message after the camp that it was a girl. She yeah that she was not so happy. She didn't know if she want to go on again. And when she saw me in the camp, she was just it gives her so much motivation. And yeah, that makes me really nice. I mean, makes
Yeah, that's
me
awesome.
feel really happy uh, to have been able to help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
to
super special.
inspire. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, well, if
empowering.
since you like giving advice, we have a section of the podcast where we like to give a pro tip to our listeners, like an advice
Yes.
for them. So I mean, the question can be pretty wide. I can just ask you like, what is the tip you would give someone? So maybe like I can give you options of like how to like. Would you let's say okay, you could be advice for like staying long time in the sport, for example, because you stayed for such a long time, or maybe advice for finding your full potential as an athlete,
Yeah,
or
or how you found back the joy, like you said, like you're aiming for the highest, and then you struggle a bit because like you come close, but it wasn't the goal that you set. So, and then you told us like you refound yourself kind of in that way.
yeah. So
Could be everything.
whichever advice you want to give, or yeah, whichever advice you are interested in giving.
Um,
But we're just giving ideas, so, because otherwise the question I feel like is so wide that you could go like
yeah.
everywhere.
Um, I mean, let's talk about maybe how I found the joy again. It was
Yeah.
like we were speaking before about mountain bike, right? So sometimes you really you always focus on training program, doing that. So I was just trying uh, to go riding without a program, to go to take my mountain biking, having also like if the mountain bike is nice, you just can go in a bike park and just enjoying riding, and just trying to take some time where I really just feel the bike and feel the freedom I have on the bike, just to see it on, yeah, to try to see it on a different way, and not as a working um, part. Uh, I mean, we at the sport we do, it's really a nice. We are not like, for example, some sport that it's inside and you're just there for training. We just can really take the bike and pedaling through the nature, like is it on road or in the mountain bike, and we really can enjoy pedaling around, and you can come in some different paths. So uh, just to try to enjoying it, seeing the other part, without I
Yeah.
have to push now, I have to do intervals, or I have to do that, or
So you kind of
um,
went back to like how you actually
well,
maybe even started to ride your
exactly,
mountain bike.
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe with some good
And what?
company also.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that you say that because I think like when you look at the start line, there's like I don't know 70 girls or whatever, and everybody has a different way of training. And some people do better
Yeah,
with like more fun rides and less intervals. Some people do better with more intervals, more, less. But at the end of the day, like it's interesting like how everybody has a different preparation and then you come to the race and everyone's not that far, like yes, there's differences, but even like within yourself, like sometimes maybe you've performed better by doing like more fun training in that year because that's what you needed more, or maybe what so
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, like it's interesting how it's not just one recipe to follow, and sometimes like that
yeah,
joy ride with your friends might bring you more than doing a super hard interval workout that would have seemed like the thing that you should have done.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing also, I think what I learned it's to have something beside the cycling. I mean, you have cycling, yeah, it's kind of a work, but also to have something aside, by your side. And Maghalie, you know that, or
My
maybe many
horses,
know,
right?
I just
my
want to
horses.
ask, like, because I saw you have horses, so it was all
Yes,
the time I was already waiting to ask something about it. Now you bring it up yourself.
yes. So yeah, that's something what gave myself really a lot. And yeah. Sometimes when I just need the time off, or yeah, then I just go there and I feel better.
And
Yeah.
they also give kind of a freedom in a different way.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. When you're riding to the forest on the galloping horse, that gives you a lot of freedom, yes. And somebody else
That's
has to
awesome.
work at that moment.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a horse rider at all, but I tried it once. For me, it was a really hard effort, to be honest.
Actually, yeah, it depends what you do, but yeah, it can be when I watch my heart rate on the horse when I'm galloping, or the horse is just running, it's pretty high actually.
But it's a vacation for the mind, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Okay. We have a section on this podcast, Eva. It's called the Recovery Zone because the podcast is sponsored by Whoop, and I know you wear the Whoop. And
Oh, it will
Whoop,
recover that higher heart rate on your horse, right? I guess.
yes,
Yeah, it
yes.
actually will show up when I'm going horse riding. It show like it says. I mean, the whoop is how do you say? It's
It
um
recognizes the
it's
activity. It
it's
recognizes that
recognized
you
as,
went horse.
yes, yes, it does.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So
It
yeah,
has
the
to work.
Whoop just this week it came out their year in review. So kind of like a Spotify wrap, but of our Whoop data. So like telling us all about like how many times did we manage to get 100% sleep, and how many times we went cycling and running and horseback riding and all these kind of things. But at the end there's a
With you
highlight.
still a little bit, a few days to increase on certain points if you had set some goals.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's there is a highlight of it that comes out, and it tells you what is your highest days trained of the year, your highest recovery of the year, and your longest night of the year. And I'm curious, Eva, do you remember, like, so it gives you the date of what was the highest train day of the year. For me, it's one of the gravel races that I did this year.
You did
Um,
one very long one, right? Is it one
I
of
did a
your?
very long one, yeah, and it was like 8 hours, and I didn't know, but I had COVID doing it. The next day, I woke
Oh,
up and I was like complete.
Not a
So
good
that was my
combination.
not a good combination. That was my highest strain, and it was at high altitude. Anyway, like bad day. Um, what is yours, Eva? Do you know? Like looking at the date, can you like look back to what was your
yeah.
biggest strain day of the year?
Actually, it was also a gravel race.
It was also,
I,
which
I
one was it? Tell us the
it was
story.
no, it was the national Italian national Italian championships of gravel, and the only gravel race I did. And I just always had the feeling the gravel races are the most hardest races I ever did. And yeah, so it was like end of June. And
Okay.
I also had a really bad day that day, and that's my highest workout was over there. Also signed by
And
the it
you
was
sent it to me. It's
20.7.
20.
Yeah,
Yeah, same. Okay.
How
We had
much?
the
yeah,
same.
yeah.
21?
20.7. No,
Ah,
tw no,
20.7.
almost
Yeah, yeah.
20.7. Yeah. I
And
don't know.
what
Can
is
you
your?
reach 21?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. I've never been 21. I've heard of 20.8 on rare occasions, but I've
Okay,
never I've never had it. I've 20.7 has been my highest. So,
okay.
yeah, thank you for sharing that story. It's fun to see. Like it's been fun like looking back and just like yeah, it's fun. It's kind of like the Spotify rap. It's fun to see the year in review in that way. And since like you wear it all the
Cool.
time, it has like all of the information that can be interesting. So, fun to watch, fun to look to. Um, okay, fan favorite. We have some questions from our fans, and this week the question comes from Heidi Plug, who wants to know what is your strategy when you choose your position on the start grid. So who wants to answer that one?
Well, I can kick off with that
Yeah.
one. For me, it's a lot of times. So luck. I have the luck to be on the first row mostly. So one of the earlier to choose. So I have a lot of choice, and I try to choose then on wind direction, on where's the first corner and how does that look like, and to make sure I'm not the quickest, to that I have a little bit of space so I can get around before the corner, kind of. So it's a little bit of all those things that make in the end my decision where I'm actually going to stand. And
Yeah.
sometimes then your ideal position is taken already, so then you have to go take your second best.
And if you're on the second or third row, then there's another factor that you can consider, and it's
You
like
don't want
who's
to
in
be
front
behind
of you.
Lucinda.
Not necessarily, but it's like, but it could be like you really want to be behind Mary Schreiber, like she's always the fastest starter, or like you get to know the other racers, and so you try to position yourself behind someone that will like 99% of the time has a clean start, and so that will help you to also have a clean start and not get stuck behind. So that's another factor. And yeah, as Lucinda said, like which direction does the first corner go, and like where do you think the field will kind of open and maybe offer opportunity to pass. So those are all the things that, I mean, it looks like we're just like poop going and taking whatever, but actually there's a lot of thought going inside.
Yeah,
Is there
actually,
anything we
yes.
forgot to say, Eva, that you'd like to add to this?
Uh, I think now the first row they're calling after they call up the second
True.
row. So then
Yeah.
you can't even choose behind which rider is in front of you. So
Yeah, it's
No.
before
changed
you,
a little
so
bit
that
all the
changed. Yes.
times. They were really searching, especially yeah, with the World Cup, the first row is coming from the other side and not caught up as first. And in the last year, actually, the first row had to give already up front their position. And then they were trying to still share the riders on the second row where who choose which start position. So they actually knew who behind who they were standing. But now we don't have to tell anymore up front. So yes, the second row has no clue behind
Yeah.
who they are standing. It's a
You
bit
just
unfair,
cross your
I have to
finger.
say.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Yeah.
Namur. That's the next race that's coming up. I mean, there's Herentals on Saturday, but let's focus on Namur
No,
because we
and
all know.
Eva, you called it already your most favorite course earlier in this episode. So can you explain us why it's your most favorite course? Besides the
They
fact I
say
saw your great result, of course.
they say it's the mountain bike course, so it really is like kind of a mountain bike course with really a lot of uphill, but also some really technical sections. For example, I really love the off-camber. I love off-cameras in general, but the off-camber of Namur, it's one of my favorite ones. And so yeah, I just have a lot of fun on that course because yeah, with the uphills and downhills, even if it's super hard race, but it's just that kind of the race where even the hard course it makes you feeling well. And yeah,
Yeah,
beside that, I always had pretty good races there, so that makes it for sure
That helps.
easier. If you have, it helps, yes.
but for people who don't
Yeah.
know, like it is, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's one of the most iconic. Like, would you say it could be like the Paris-Roubaix of cyclocross in a way? Like for people who don't really know, like I
Yeah,
feel
it
like
is
it's one of the
definitely
most
Very
very
iconic.
much.
iconic.
Yeah.
And anyway, in general, I personally I really love courses that they use just the location and what's there. And of course, when you're on a hill, that helps because then you have already up and down and technical sections. But I do agree. There's only one course that's like Namur. Maybe it's
Yeah,
also good because it's true. It's very coming close to a mountain bike course. So some sections aren't that easy to ride with your cross bike, and there are a lot of stones. So and when you crash, it's a serious crash most of the times. So you all have to consider this when you're actually riding the course. But yeah, I totally agree. I really love it. And for me, what also makes it really nice, or maybe also, this is also maybe why there's so much public, but because it's so much when because it's on a hill, people can really see a lot from the course.
yeah, yeah. You're right, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of fans. Like you can see the fans around there. It's like yeah, there's something special.
Yeah.
Um, what is your
And
best memory of this race, Eva? Oh, sorry. Go for it. Go for it.
it's always a little bit muddy also over there, so that's also something typical for cyclocross. I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes it's more, but kind of even if it was dry year, it was always a little bit of mud in the Namur.
yeah. What is your best memory of it? I I
Uh,
remember. I mean, go for it. I gotta say after.
no, just go ahead. You remember?
Well, I remember there's one year that actually you and Katerina got first and second, and I was like watching from home because I didn't get to make the trip with the team that time. But I remember I woke up at like 3 a.m. to watch the race.
Wow.
And when like Katerina won and you got second, and I was like, oh my god, like I was so excited. And then you both were on the podium. You were the CX Fever socks, and there is like an official photo of the UCI, and they're like pointing to the socks that I had made. And to me, 'cause I was a bit younger, and they were like my teammates that I looked up to. So yeah, I just felt so. I just like loved this moment so much.
That's a good point, but I just remembered now um,
Yeah,
my favorite moment.
yeah,
Um, I don't remember which year it was, but Namur is really famous for the start. So you go up the hill, and I just took off on the start and came up on the top where you go into the asphalt. And then I was looking back, and after 10 meters, I saw Marianne Vos, which she was second. And then even more, I don't know how no more some meters back, it was the whole fight. So I just really had a really head start on that. So that was kind of a funny moment where yeah, Marianne was back in then world champion and
I was only wondering, so do you also remember your result in the end? Like, did you blow up or you could continue the
yeah,
five? Like,
no, I blew up. I mean, I was still in top five. I was fourth or fifth or something like that, but I blew up then. Yeah,
it's still a good result.
yeah, still
yeah,
super good.
yeah.
What about you, Lucinda? What is your highlight on Namur? Because you won it a few times too, but is there a moment, like kind of the moment that Eva shared, that stand out to you as like one of your highlight over there?
Um, I can't remember like really a story like Eva. Mostly for me, like the start, I always have to kind of pace it and try to fight back. So that is most of the time. And yeah, it's just I really enjoy the course. Like, or maybe it's like one year. I think this was so muddy that a lot of people really slide down. Also, I think the amateurs raced before, and we had seen some images. I think it's only like 2 years ago, and that it was so slippery. You had to jump up on the top, like run up, turn around, jump on your bike, and go down. And it was like there were so many slides there. I think I kept it upright, but like really just, or I kept running all the time to not crash, like.
Yeah.
um, but most of it, for me, like the memories are just like, it's such a cool course to get the flow. And like, it's also a course that I actually, in the begin, a lot of times went a day earlier to really get a good feeling with the course. And when I was working the first years with Sven, he would always come as well. So we did the reckon together, and he showed me really perfect lines, and then you get the trust to do it even faster, like that flow really is so important. And I know like the climbing to pace it really suits me. And in the yes, and like how you can really nail that off camber or totally fuck it up, like
Yeah,
it's
totally.
one or the other.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. Like I have my highlights from there is actually like rarely I've managed to get there healthy. Like for some reason I always got sick, like get a cold before Namur or something like that. But I have like a couple occasions where I felt healthy, and you're just like battling in the rain, and then like you just like you're so immersed in it. And I have like moments like that pop in my head that just like is such a good memory. And so every time I finish this race, I'm like, oh my God, it feels so special to be a part of this environment. And you have battles like through the race and stuff like that. But it's a good race. It's going to be a fun weekend. So
I'm
people
really
make
looking
sure
forward.
people make sure you don't miss out on this one. It's going to be a good one. Eva, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you would like to share with our audience?
Um, I don't think.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, I think it's maybe all of us to say thank you for, for
Putting
all the
such
24 years that we
yes.
got to watch you race and inspire all of us. So thanks you for that, and thank you for just being here this last hour. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Eva. Make sure you watch Namur this weekend. Thank you to Whoop for presenting this podcast. Make sure you look in the show notes. You can go to join.whoop.com/dirty, and this will give you a first month of free trial. Could be an awesome gift for the holidays that are just coming up. So check it out. You're giving the gift of health and optimization of someone's health. So check it out. Thank you, Whoop. And don't forget to subscribe so you can, catch the next episode. Thank you, everybody.